I'm so grateful that you have come here in honor of my beloved. I'm reminded with that last Jewish song that all of this is about a celebration of life. That our mutual guru, my beloved and I, Shekinah, has been for years. She introduced me to Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh, otherwise known as Osho. And she was a sannyasin, someone who followed him very closely. And Osho spoke a great deal about death being the greatest fiction. And that it was just throwing off one overcoat and coming back again until enlightenment. Just insert something, Darling Tess, that song that you brought forth just now is her essence. That was really a lot of her, totally. Her compassion knows no bounds. And so Osho talked a lot about how, again, death is just a fiction. And how many devotees of gurus would be asking why their master was crying when his or her master passed away, if it was such a fiction. And although that be true, they would say, I'm crying because I miss them so. It's so incredibly hard to say goodbye to my beloved Shekinah. It's even so much more incredibly difficult because we thought for sure they were going to succeed with her health. But things happened so fast when we entered the hospital, and she was so sedated that I was never able to say goodbye to her. Friends, yourself, including many here that I know, have given me more support and love than I could ever really imagine. And I'm frequently overwhelmed with tears of gratitude for such generosity of compassion. And as I've told some, my emotional being is like an ocean. Sometimes I waver between calm and still. And then a moment later being thrown about turbulently by some tropical hurricane. "35 years of the most incredible love between us. And a good part of my tears and anguish is that realization that I will have lost the outpouring of her always giving to me, putting me first, always concerned about my well-being. Always expressing such admiration and offering affirmations of my being. And always loving me and kissing me with a depth of love I've never experienced before. I just cannot fathom how I can never again look into those adoring eyes and experience her love, feel her touch, caress her beautiful body, and experience the depth of our tantric ecstasy together. At the beginning of our relationship, dear Anastas, now Shekinah, you and I experimented with consciousness. And it included some of those substances that brought us to even more into the sacred heart space. The very first time you introduced me to this, we were walking on the beach beneath the cliffs, and I became weak-kneed. I must admit, much like I am right now. And I said, I'm not sure I can make it up the stairs up the cliff. And you replied, don't worry, I'll take care of you. And for all those years since, you've taken care of me. It was you who took me out of polyester and dressed me like a prince. Never wanted to see a wrinkle in my clothes. And it goes without saying, you're always dressed as Her Royal Highness. Your love of beauty and always wanting to see our beauty brought us to the beautiful surroundings and homes that you decorated in the tantric style that we both love so much. And yet, while I had the limited ability to create finances for us, you had the knack of creating finances through your knowledge of psychology and relationship and tantra, and literally transforming the lives of others through sacred tantra in one session. You've given me everything. Even a couple of weeks before you departed, you tried to see clients to bring in more money. You've given your everything. You taught me how to relate to others, how to love more deeply, how to express myself more transparently. Your incredible sensual sensitivity taught me how to be a better lover in Tantric Dhaka. I want people to know, I want you to know, the depth of your love and compassion. You're my beloved who would cry when looking at a spectacular sunset or some exquisite nature view. You're my beloved who would open your heart with ecstatic glee when seeing a newborn infant or a child playing on the beach. You're my beloved who would cry when you would read about the war-torn oppressed and cried even more when you knew you couldn't help them. And you're my beloved who expressed such dismay that even though you gave so much to charities, you could not give more to help those in desperate need, to help feed the hungry and the blind, to bring social justice to the world. You're my beloved, who upon seeing a homeless, disheveled man as we walked into a soup plantation for a meal, so I'm sitting on a sidewalk and asked him to come in and paid for his meal. You're my beloved whose heart knows no bounds. Your unselfish spirit wants to bring happiness to all who need it. You're my beloved, whom I met as polyamorous, and we remained polyamorous throughout our lives. Because we knew that God is in everyone. and that we could love and be lovers with others and always keep our devotion to each other. You helped so many others by your example of compersion. You and I succeeded in finding true joy in others' joy. You're my beloved, who with your depth of caring for humanity and all of creation marched with me in multiple parades of protest against those in power who oppressed and violated human and animal rights. We marched for the Occupy movement. We marched against the wars. You stood up against oppression, knowing that it took more than simply prayer or holding a positive space. You stood and stand for direct action. You're my beloved, who loved all creatures so much that you felt their suffering, and as a vegetarian refused to eat them. Your compassion knows no bounds. I so wish you could guide me now as you've guided me before, as I know not how to continue your legacy of compassion and love. I love you beyond words. I can't begin to describe the depth of my feelings for my loss of you, and I most assuredly know, in spite of those who would say it's your time, that you had so much more to offer this world, and you're not ready to go. The world's lost a saint, and I'll always know you as Saint Shekinah. And I'll always be your beloved Stephen. And you'll always be my beloved Shekinah. Namaste. Namaste.